Alrighty folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is JPlays and today we are playing Pokemon MMO and we're doing the second episode of the Geolock Rival Challenge. Everybody, welcome back. The first fights were a slobber knocker, let me tell you. I had a really close fight with Edgy in the last episode. We got to see Ace and Felis face off. Let me tell you, they are really good at team building. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. My Pokemon, let's review a little bit of how well they did. My Alakazam, of course, it came in handy. Turns out, it didn't really have a lot of moves to use, so it was doing its best. But Alakazam was very strong for our fight. Breloom, shockingly, did not pay off. Breloom, I thought was going to be a really strong Pokemon. During the second badge fight, it doesn't have any moves, and that's a really complicated part about Geolock. You can have a really good team with a really strong core, and having like not good moves can make your entire Pokemon strategy like fall apart, right? So what we saw in last episode was people being a lot more creative. We saw AceNet with his Rain team, making sure that something like Bubble Beam was actually going to be doing like a convincing amount of damage. Additionally, timing things like your Gyarados Intimidate or whatever abilities your Pokemon have, that's another thing that's going to be really coming in handy for this fight as well as the last one. So these are things that we have to like remember, we have to learn, we have to write down, right? So a great thing to remember is that Vigoroth was actually coming in handy. So despite being a stage 2 Pokemon, it actually has good enough stats, and it has the stab normal moves for like really convincing neutral damage. And that's what we want to see in the fights upcoming. You can also see on my team I have a Kirlia. I like Kirlia. Kirlia evolves into Gardevoir, which is another really powerful Pokemon. I don't like Gallade as much, but we'll see which one we actually want to take into the Badge 4 fights. First things first though, we have to get the 3rd and 4th badge before we get to the 4th badge fights. So we're going to start with Leader Watson here. He leads with Manectric, and I'm not going to lie, Manectric kind of took me for a surprise. After how well Nappa did in our first fights with the rivals, I was thinking that it was going to be a really strong Pokemon. I get Volt Switched, it knocks me out, I don't know what to do. I send out my Breloom thinking, you know, it's just a Voltorb. It's not very defensive, so I'm able to take it out. He goes back into Manectric, and he uses a Full Restore. Every time you're fighting these gym leaders in Pokemon MMO, they have a stock of items just the same size as you do. They have 4 items they can use, and they are not afraid to use them. Personally, I try to avoid using items when I'm doing these story mode fights, but we'll see what happens, because, you know, these fights get actually very difficult. Right here, I'm in a pickle, where I've lost already 3 Pokemon. I've only taken out, like, the weak Voltorb, so I'm nervous. He got a Oranberry on the Magneton, so any type of not very effective damage I'm doing right now, it's not cutting it. So I'm going to Nightshade to get some static damage, hopefully kill some of these Pokemon, and turns out we're close to the end. Bulma's faster than the Electric, so we're able to go back into the fight with the Manectric, the Evolve form. Volt Switch unfortunately kills me, and I'm a little nervous, a little scared, because Manectric is really strong against Gyarados, but luckily, Gyarados is able to clutch it out, and we got our 3rd gym badge. Let's go. I was very surprised that Gyarados was actually able to get that kill. Gyarados obviously is very weak to electric damage, is 4 times weak to that Manectric, so the fact that we survived that, super lucky. But, you know, we have the 3rd gym badge. We're going to be able to move forward in the region. We're going to be able to progress. And we're going to be able to find all the Pokemon that we have available in the immediate area. So I'm going to spend some time exploring around. I'm going to try and find all the different unlockables, all the items. But specifically, I need to find out all of the Pokemon that are accessible around here. So if we look to the left, we got some Pokemon. We got like Poochyenas as normal. There's Illumise, there's Whismur, which, you know, nobody wants. To the right of where we are now, there's the desert, which has a lot of really valuable Pokemon. We got Trapinch, we got Nosepass, we got Diglett. You know, there's a bunch of Pokemon, the ground types, some Stealth Rock setters that we might want to explore. There's Geodudes over there, so we got some options. We're going to progress. We're going to see what we can do about our team, because right now, my team is really lacking. Like, in the Badge 2 fights, I realized all of my Pokemon are kind of one-note warriors. Like, all of them have one move that they can use, and after that, they're kind of cooked. Like, Breloom was using Stun Spore and Mach Punch the entire time. You know, the Vigoroth was just using Headbutt, essentially. Like, we didn't really have a lot of move diversity. So that's something that I want to work on. I want to be able to get a full team that has, you know, options. I go find a Wingull, thinking that that water team that AceNet was using with the rain, that was really powerful. So I'm thinking I also want one. This one doesn't have a Drizzle, but that's okay. We're going to keep looking. I go to Slateport, and this actually solves a big problem that we have. This Pokemart has TMs. There's a bunch of TMs. You get Aerial Ace, you get Protect, you get a bunch of different moves. So we want to leverage this Pokemart as best we can. We want to shape our team around Pokemon that can actually learn valuable moves that we have available. So that's what I kind of want to focus on. I want to make sure that each of my Pokemon are outfitted with at least more coverage for the next fight. That way I'll be a little bit more prepared for what we have going on. The next thing that is of interest is that a Alpha Swarm showed up. So for the uninformed, Pokemon MMO has Alpha Swarms which show up, I think it's 3 times a day, and they're in random parts of all 5 regions. So like it could be literally anywhere in any of the Pokemon regions, and you have to find them, you have to go up to them. They're in the overworld, so in this one's case, there's a giant Mightyena in the overworld surrounded by a bunch of Poochyena. We have to go up there and we have to try and fight it, and we want to try and catch it, because these things, not only are they bigger, they kind of like the Legends of Arceus alpha Pokemon, they're literally larger in size, but these ones have better odds to find really good stats. They're going to automatically have max IVs on a couple stats. They're going to have some pretty dope abilities. They have hidden abilities. So for the example of Mightyena, it has Moxie. You saw it took out my Alakazam, and then it got an attack boost. We want that on our team. We want to have a Pokemon that can do a revenge kill, get an attack boost, and then turn around and sweep the entire fight. So this Mightyena is going to be very, very helpful. This like wolf warrior dude we want to get in our team. Unfortunately, he kills me really easily, actually. I end up going back and I catch it, which is pretty nice. Got Careful Nature, which isn't the best, but I'm pretty sure it has pretty good attack and speed. So we're going to try and leverage that Mightyena later on. All right, we'll see what kind of moves it can handle later on, but for now, we go up to Sootopolis. I hang out with Felis. He's telling me about a couple different Pokemon like Quillfish, Starmie, Skarmory. Like, these are really, really good Pokemon that we can use, and we want to, have the widest variety of options. So having a team that's also able to scope out all the different other Pokemon that are available so you can really know what you want to use is really helpful. I end up traveling west. We have to go through some more story beats, and we end up in Meteor Falls, which is a really pretty area. There's a couple new Pokemon here as well. You get Solrock, you get Lunatone. Zubat is a little bit more available here, which, Golbat and Crobat are also very strong. But, we're just passing through. There's just a couple story things. We have to meet Archie from Team Aqua and Maxie from Team Magma. They're going to be problems later, where we don't like them. But after we go through Meteor Falls, it kind of loops us back around to where we were before. And this is something that I really like about the Hoenn region. Like, everything is super close by and accessible, especially in our case. Like, we don't have access to fly yet. We get that in the next episode. So when we're walking around, it's nice to have this like internet connectivity. Everything is super close by. And as we go through, I stop my Diglett from evolving. You saw there. There's a reason for that. We're going to get there in just a moment. Diglett, he's really cute. I'm going to share a sentimental moment with him because he's not going to be a Diglett for long. He actually evolves at, I think, level 27 or level 28, but he's going to learn a very good move soon. So we want this Diglett to be the best Pokemon on our team. And he's going to prove it. Right here, he uses Sucker Punch, and he takes out a Kadabra in one shot, all right? Granted, Kadabra is unevolved, so is Diglett, though. So it's pretty cool that he's able to do this much damage this early. We switch over into our Ninjask to do a one-shot on this Mightyena. Pretty simple. He switches into Camerupt. Fire types are actually pretty tough. Luckily, I have a water-type Pokemon, though, and he's switching out. He knows he's scared. He wants that Camerupt to be alive. Because he's Team Maxie from Magma, right? Like, he wants these fire-type Pokemon to be important on his team. But he only has 2 of them. He's got Houndoom and he's got Camerupt. Like, it's just silly. Marshtomp learns Rock Slide, which is pretty good, and he sends out the Houndoom. Houndoom, pretty easy fight. Not really worried about this one, to be honest with you. After taking out Houndoom, we go from the hot frying pan into the flames, and we're going to try and figure out how to get to the 4th gym badge. The 4th gym in Hoenn is a fire-type gym. Flannery is the gym leader. She's not that scary, I'll be honest with you. We have a Gyarados, we have a Diglett. We got some options to deal with these fire types, so I'm not too scared. But what I am scared and a little frustrated at is this gym puzzle. It is literally just a matter of trial and error. You have to go in and out of all these different holes. You have to find like where the correct one is before you can actually enter the gym. And gym puzzle aside though, our team is looking really, really good. We have the ground types, we have the water types, and I take a moment to get Diglett up to a very key level. This is important. When Diglett, not Dugtrio, but Diglett turns to level 29, he gets Earthquake, which is an incredible stab move. Having 100 power with stab is 150 power. Diglett's going to be able to solo the entire Fire Gym. So I'm really not nervous at all. So let's see how we do against Flannery. Now I finally figured out how the gym puzzle works so I can enter and we can kick her ass. So first things first, she's got Camera Upped. I start with some special attacks because he's a physical defender. Unfortunately, he one-shots me. And that's okay. We have Marshtomp here to clean up these kills. We're not worried. Somehow Camera Upped actually survives. Maybe it's a special defender than not a physical one. But we have Torkoal as the next Pokemon. Torkoal is able to set up Sun, which means all of my water moves are a little bit worse. Luckily, I'm not out of options. I got Ground, I got Rock, I got Dugtrio. And Dugtrio is just going to Earthquake through the rest of this. This is super easy. And now we have 4 gym badges. So the only thing left to do is prep for the rival fights. Our level cap is 35, which means that our Swampert is not quite ready. But we have a bunch of options for Pokemon, and before we start the fights, I'd like to take a second and let's organize some of the options we have here. So first things first, the Pokemon that we had available before that were good are still good. Like, we still have Gyarados, which is really strong. We still have Gallade, which is really strong. Now we have Gardevoir, which I think is actually better than Gallade at this point in the game. Something like Ninjask used to be pretty decent, and I think it immediately steps off. Just Shedinja, on the other hand, there's still not a lot of coverage, you know, of the Pokemon that are super available. So I think Wonder Guard still has its place. So I think this is still a pretty strong pick. We have some really heavy hitters. For example, Starmie. Starmie is insane. Starmie is like terrifying. This Pokemon is so strong. Another Pokemon that we can't really take lightly is Crobat. Crobat is super fast. It's super accessible because it's just a Zubat with some friendship. So Crobat, very strong Pokemon. I would say it's even more threatening than Gallade currently. Skarmory, however, Skarmory is one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. It's super tanky. It's able to set up things like Spikes, Stealth Rock, Whirlwind things to rotate them out. Pelipper, really strong with Drizzle. I think it's still just as impactful as it was before. Breloom gets better and better every single time it fights. Breloom is very strong. It's actually so strong you need to have a counter for it, which is why I think Crobat is even better, because Crobat's going to be able to outspeed it and then guarantee the kill. You can say the same thing about Tailo, but I think Tailo is significantly slower than Crobat. Sableye, he doesn't have Prankster, which isn't that great. If we had the Alpha of Sableye, then this would be really powerful. But speaking of Alpha Swarms, we have Alpha Mighty Yana with the Moxie ability, which immediately makes it pretty strong. I'm going to throw that up in A tier. And we also have another swarm that showed up, a Zoroark swarm. So Zoroark is pretty cool. It's got that illusion ability. It's not that strong though, so I'm going to throw it in B. Mawile, I think I put in low tier in the last episode. I think it proved to be a little bit better than it actually is. Hariyama was very strong in the Badge 2 fights, but I think there's plenty of flying type coverage for it, so I'm not too nervous about this, especially with Pokemon like Alakazam and Gardevoir on the case. Like, we got Golem, very good Stealth Rock setter. It's still got Sturdy. It's still very accessible. It's got a lot of value. Quillfish, however, it's got Acupuncture. This Pokemon is very silly. I've learned that this Pokemon can do a lot of damage very quickly. And a Pokemon that I'm using on my team is Alakazam. I think Alakazam is very strong. For some reason, between Alakazam and Gardevoir, I think it's pretty contentious, which is like the best Psychic type. Starmie's also pretty up there. They're all very strong special attackers, because it's a little bit more frail. I think it's faster and stronger, but Gardevoir can take a hit, and Alakazam can hide. And this is our tier list for the next fight. We're gonna see what goes on with the team builds, and I'm gonna do a little post-commentary through some of these fights, because we have a lot to look at. First things first, Aurasphere and Gardevoir, huge.
Alright, first skill of the match, nice.
Felix is able to secure first blood, and he's fighting Acenet in the first fight.
Okay.
So Acenet is using Golem, great Stealth Rock setter, and has Sturdy. Very good at getting the Stealth Rock on the field as basically a guaranteed hazard. It's very powerful. And this Gardevoir isn't able to do anything against the Shedinja. So Acenet's playing extremely smart here. He's able to play around all these different things that are going on. We go into a Starmie into Skarmory later on in the fight, and
oh fuck, it had Thunderbolt. Yeah, I should have thought about that. No problem.
I didn't even think about that, honestly. I should have too.
the Thunderbolt does a lot of damage, taking out the Skarmory, which is actually like a core of Felix's team.
I just realized made the old guy watch this whole thing.
Oh yeah.
We see Breloom here use Night Daze, which is a little bit interesting. Breloom usually using Spore is something that you expect from it a little bit more often. Acenet goes into Gyarados and is getting outsped by this Breloom. Shocker, it's not a Breloom, it's a Zoroark. Think about Zoroark, it's really fragile, so even though it has that whole little ability where it pretends to be a different Pokemon, it's not really great.
Alright. Oh fuck, I did not leave that. Shit.
Felis loses another huge Pokemon, losing the Golem in this fight, and Acenet's Gyarados is looking dangerous. Felis uses his Gyarados.
Not really.
No, there's still two Pokemon to get through.
It rides on the next actually.
Next up, we have Starmie threatening that Thunderbolt on Gyarados. Felis decides to switch out, which is a very smart move. But later on, we see Felis is able to Spore the Shedinja. So this is a really key play because now the Shedinja, it's able to switch in pretty reliably against Pokemon that aren't able to kill it, but it's gotta wait through its sleep, which is not very good. So Acenet's in a pretty high pressure situation here. He switches out the Shedinja into Golbat, and Golbat is extraordinarily fast. He's already asleep because of an earlier sleep that happened in the fight.
Yo, Acenet is still fighting with Pokemon that are asleep.
Yeah, okay, I confirm this one. GG.
And
Yo, play out,
outspeeds everything, which means Felis
Nah,
decides to
there's no-
take the L. He forfeits
It's
because the
I
Golbat
don't
was
need it.
going to sweep the rest of the team.
Yo, that was a crazy fight.
That was very, very good.
So, the next fight we have me, JPlays, versus Edgy Mars.
Yeah, 35 isn't terrible.
My Dugtrio, which I thought was going to be able to do a lot of damage, ends up getting critical hit by a
There.
Water Pulse. I don't think he was going to survive without that,
Back
but
in business,
anyway.
boys. I need it, and I'm back in business.
I'm proud of you.
And now we have Yamcha. This is my Moxie Mightyena. This is the Pokemon that I said was going to come in handy. Having that ability to get stronger every time you kill is clutch. Sadly, he's pretty frail, which is not a good thing
That's
against
how that
something
should
super
have
fast
went.
like this Dizzy. Sadly, I have to switch out my Mightyena after getting that speed boost. Hopefully it'll come in handy later. But my biggest priority is get rid of this Ninjask because it is going to be a thorn in my side. It's already like +3 in speed, so it's doing
However, I
chip
don't really
damage
feel
to
like playing
everything.
right now.
Gets a crit on my Gyarados, which, you know, that always hurts. It's never a good thing. But Edgy switches into his Gyarados. This is the meta. Switching a Gyarados into your Gyarados, so then you have to switch out again. I switch into Kirlia, knowing that I'm going to die. I use it as a pivot Pokemon because there's nothing I could do with Kirlia right here. My Gyarados comes back out, takes out Edgy's Gyarados. You see how we kind of like did this switch out, switch in? That's because of Intimidate.
I got the icons. I got all the mods that I used to have. I'm back.
Intimidate is so impactful in these early fights.
I don't
We
want
see
to say, yeah,
Shenron
get
fighting this terrifying Hariyama, which is actually able to take
I mean,
me
it's a whole
out despite
different
being
new piece,
intimidated,
so-
which is pretty huge.
not like
I can't
I
even
picked
lie. It's pretty impactful. I switch out into my Vigoroth, which I learned from my Badge 2 fight, outspeeds the Hariyama, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Edgy has Alakazam, and Alakazam is not a Pokemon I want to deal with. Nappa's got a Dark-type move, which means I'm able to do some huge damage to it.
What am I supposed to do?
Nappa unfortunately isn't able to tank all the hits he needs to tank, but we're pretty much framed up to win this as a clean sweep. I use my Dark type into the Psychic type, and Edgy reveals that he also has an Alpha Mightyena.
If I recall, mine
So
is-
now I'm nervous because my Pokemon might lose to his
Faster than
Pokemon,
minus
but I looked at my IVs, I'm a little bit faster, and
I
I am able to take it out if I hit my moves, which I did not hit my moves, and the Iron Tail takes me out, so now I'm scared. I'm sweating bricks. I have just one Pokemon to deal with two, and this Mightyena is already attack boosted. Like, I'm done for. I try to use Slash. Luckily, I outspeed it because Mightyena isn't all that fast. And Alakazam comes out.
You're definitely faster than my Alakazam.
1v1.
Super fast, what you talking about?
I forgot.
Alakazam outspeeds, but I survive the hit, and I win the fight against Edgy.
Yo, Acenet, I want to fight you. This is not for a Pokemon, but I wanna see the sauce.
So as you can see there, I just challenged AceNet to a fight. I said that it was a friendly, I said that it wasn't the actual fight. So we're just going to see what his team is. We want to see what he has, and I want to see how I compare. I want to stack up to
So I
him.
did not.
So we have AceNet fighting with that Cacturn and the Shedinja combo that he was fighting against Felis with. Unfortunately, I can't hit him. Luckily, I can put him to sleep. So my Gallade has Hypnosis. Honestly, don't ask me why. He doesn't have a lot of great moves yet. But putting this thing to sleep is going to be important. I switch out into my Mightyena to try and kill it because it has 1 HP, and it immediately wakes up. That's
I
unlucky.
realize that I have most of the Pokemon for this region.
Like, the fact that it woke up frame 1 is really upsetting, but it's okay. I did the switch, I did the sleep turn 1, and then he just woke up early. It's okay. I end up killing out the Shedinja with my Gyarados, which I know is a very strong Pokemon. I try to break the sturdy on the Golem, that way it is no longer a problem, and I realized something. I have a lot of hazards on my field. Having spikes and stealth rock is not a good thing. Like, you're going to be taking a lot of damage every time you switch, so I have to kind of be stationary with how I play. I switch into Sensu, and I'm thinking that, you know, the Thunderbolt's coming in to deal with the Gyarados.
No thoughts about it. Like, I'll see what's available, and now this.
Luckily, Sucker Punch is going to come in clutch, doing a lot of damage. I was kind of hoping it would kill.
Think of something else.
Trying to out the Starmie.
I was more worried about Shedinja. So I knew I couldn't Waterfall. That was a pretty bad move.
Yeah, Felis was just talking there about how he really was scared of Shedinja. After clearing the Shedinja on the team, there's a lot less flexibility for AceNet to rotate, which is pretty big. I send out my Alakazam and I get completely stomped by the Cacturn, not realizing that it's a dark type. Like, that was not a great switch in. But I go into Vigoroth. We're going to take the damage from the spikes, we're going to take the damage from the Stealth Rocks, and we're going to take a Sucker Punch, but the Headbutt actually lands and Nappa gets the kill.
Not the greatest, but
We have Water Force coming out. I use Yawn on it, try and force it to switch out because I know that this Gyarados is going to be a problem. He uses Dragon Tail to kill me. That's okay. I switch out my Gyarados, making him switch out from the Yawn and the Intimidate. And we got a clean hit on this Golbat. We get a Tickle from Cross Poison. That's okay. We're super bulky because we're a Gyarados. And we end up killing, on a high roll, mind you. It's all luck. We end up killing the Golbat. AceNet shows up with his Thunderbolts. I don't have a good switch in now because if I were to switch and switch back, Shyamron would have died to the hazards. So it's all up to Gohan.
that's actually pretty close then.
I mean, yeah, the Starmie's almost dead. I just can't, like, get a clean kill.
Cosmic the Starmie uses Surf, and Gohan survives.
Okay, I killed the Starmie, but Gyarados is gonna kill me.
Gyarados shows up with a lot of HP. Like, a lot of HP. Luckily, I have Hypnosis, and the Hypnosis is just so low odds to land. I can't believe it landed, and I'm just gonna go to town on these slashes, cutting up this guy like he's sushi. Go to ham. I'm going ham.
Oh my god.
And he stays asleep.
Yeah, he won. GG. Oh, GG. Yeah, he won.
Oh
GG.
my god. That's insane.
Main character energy for
Main
sure.
character energy, let's go. So Asa, I did say that that wouldn't count as our match, but do you want to count that as our match?
Nah. That wouldn't be fair. Lemmo.
No.
Of course, I'm joking here, but it would be nice. And AceNet decides, hey, let's make this a best of 3.
I'm down for that.
Naturally, I take on the challenge.
Yo,
What?
AceNet, I fuck with this energy. Let's do it, a best of 3.
So, in the next fight, we're going to see if I'm able to stack up to AceNet. AceNet was able to beat Felis. I just took a game off of him. Let's see if I could repeat it.
Glade horde you're talking about. Special attack horde you're talking about. Where it's at?
Left of Marvel.
AceNet is very smart. He's actually a planner when he plays Pokemon. He knows exactly what the win condition is for any individual scenario. And we're going to see him pick my team apart. Every single Pokemon I send out, he's already prepped for. Can I turn this around? He gets the hazards. He's got Stealth Rocks, Spikes, the Sweeper, the Golbat. All of my Pokemon are dropping like flies. It's not even fair. I send out my Dugtrio thinking I'm going to outspeed. That's a fat chance. I use Mightyena. If I can survive something, I'll be able to kill it, get the attack boost. No, it's not happening. AceNet destroys me in a clean 6-0. And honestly, I can't blame him. He realized that the only move I
did a
have
lot
on my
of damage
Gallade
to-
is a slash.
4 of the Pokemon. Starmie was still untouched.
It was over, dude. It was over. And that is going to conclude our final fight for Badge 4. Moving on to Badge 6, we are going to see a lot more Pokemon diversity, and I'm very excited to show every single one of you the Pokemon that I have planned for the next badge. So I will see you in the next one.